aware that the learning that you're doing, the two pieces, most important pieces here, are the learning that you're doing and then the building on your strengths, on the things that your talents. Those two areas, and again, I dealt with those in another session, two different sessions, but I wanted to bring them back up here to say, if you're trying to develop yourself, and you're going to always be developing, then those are the two most important things to be paying attention to. I would say too, that if you are trying to work on your own strengths, I would add something here, that is, allow the people around you to live in the area of their strengths as well. It'll do a lot for you to extend that grace to them. We often want people to give us that option while we will still hold other people accountable for weaknesses that they may be mismanaging or strengths that they don't have. So, you know, if you're trying to create a culture in your home of building on strengths, let it start with your kids. I mean, I remember when my older daughter, you know, late one night, you know, just came down frustrated with her math assignment. And now, by the way, she had passed my capacity to help her with her math assignments somewhere about third grade. You know, I don't know the difference between a paramecium and a parabola, so I don't know what she was dealing with, but she's in honors math, and 10th grade, 11th grade, something like that. Now, I'm going to tell you, there was a time in my life that I would have said to her, you know, Jessica, just get over it, bone up, you're in honors math, you signed up for this, you knew the deal, we're going to get you to, we're going to do this. As somehow an evidence of will and commitment and discipline and all that stuff. Truth of the matter is, this child of mine is not undisciplined, does not lack will, or any of that stuff. It would have been a misplaced misdiagnosis. What I said to her is, Jessica, get out of that class. Let's go and figure out, let's drop you all the way from honors to advanced, whatever the next, I said, because if you really get good at math, you're never going to do it. I mean, that is not the skill set that's going to take you far. And the hours you are spending every night to spend your time on this is taking you away from the hours that you could spend on something that's going to be your ticket out of here. Now, not everyone who is listening to me would agree with what I did, but you're wrong. Because I did the right thing. Because you see, she is doing exactly what she needs to be doing with her life, and I can tell you that dealing with a few more parameciums wouldn't have mattered. In case you don't, but just to prove my point. So, you know, how do we begin to develop this culture? Or if you are a leader and you have staff that report to you, where do you start? Is it always with what's wrong with this person? What are they not bringing to the table? What does that annual assessment look like? If it's an assessment, that's the first word I'd lose. Or if it's that annual you know, performance agreement, whatever. You know, you might think about bringing into that world, you know, something like the word conversation, or exchange, or interview, or something, so that, and by the way, so that the person that's reporting to you has the chance to say, these are the strengths that I feel like I'm underutilizing here. These are areas of my work that I feel don't appeal to any of my strengths. These are the things that are getting in the way of my being able to work on my strengths. All these interview questions, if you're trying to create a culture of strengths, and by the way, not just tasks, you can take this to relationships as well. You can, I mean, actually, it is my opinion that most of these work supervision, performance things are more about the supervisor, not the employee, because people don't leave great companies, they leave bad managers. And so we need to create a culture where people are able to say, this is what I need. I could do so much more if I were asked in this area, or if I didn't have this stuff holding me down, I could really excel somewhere else. Now, I'm using that as an example because so many of you are in the workplace. and that makes sense to you. And many of you will be creating workplace environments as leaders or whatever. And I thought that, maybe if you realize go first, that's an important thing for you to learn. And so in this area, of developing strengths and in learning, creating an environment where, and I might say something else about learning and its relationship and the whole leadership equation, by the way, and being missional. How many things can I throw into this equation? But the connection is the same, and it's about the capacity for risk-taking. You see, I do believe that being a disciple of Jesus does require risk. I don't believe that line we were handed, that the safest thing you can do is to be a follower of Jesus. I think that there is implied risk. I don't see any place in the New Testament where that was the safest decision any of those boys made or any of those gals made hanging out with Jesus. It seems to me to put you in a place where you're kind of being constantly stretched. And so, but I want to say a thing about risk-taking. You see, because some of you are leaders in this world of missional that are studying this, and you're going to have to be creating cultures where this can emerge, where people can be deployed and developed as followers of Jesus. And if we don't allow for risk in that system so that no one ever messes up then all we are going to do is guarantee that we're going to repeat the same stuff that we've been seeing. If, in fact, when people take risk and they fail, which they will. See, part of some of you own businesses that are looking at this, you understand what I'm talking about. You understand that entrepreneurship is the capacity to manage risk. And in fact, you tend to risk more than the average bear. Because you can tolerate no more than the average bear. Those of us who our whole life is on the line every time we try to sell a widget. You great salesmen and stuff that are looking in and listening in. You take no. It's no big. We just haven't come to our senses yet if we've said no. Because you just keep right on rolling. Well, we've got to figure out a way to honor the risks of people in our culture. The people around us, if we're in a church culture, who are saying yes to Jesus, we need to celebrate and applaud their lives. Not because they are heroes, but because the people around us, the people in the pews, the other people in our small group, the people in our family, our kids, they need to believe all over again, and they need the stories of people who have said yes and who have stepped out into what seemed to be, the abyss or something very frightening, and can tell stories about meeting Jesus there and being nurtured and managed all the way. We need these stories. And if we don't do that, we're going to continue, we're not going to have the learning culture, the developing culture that we need to be people of mission. In fact, even in your own lives, if I were coaching you, somewhere along the line, I would ask you something like, when is the last time Jesus changed your mind about anything? See, because I would want to know, when is the last time you were willing to unlearn something to risk learning something else? When is the last time we allowed our biases or prejudices to be challenged? When's the last time that we faced our own fears in a really important way? All of these are ways that you create a learning environment. Well, we have one more session. Can you imagine it? Just one. I don't care how many more you think we should have. My contract allows for one more. And so your contract is to show back up. And if you can just endure another session, you may see the end of this about what it means to become a missional follower of Jesus. I'll have some concluding words about that and maybe something else when you come back.